So a particular anime that has been asked on the channel is of course Girlfriend, and what are the chances of a season 3 for this series? And there are a couple of things to go over, some that I definitely think might rough up a couple of feathers, but the reality is I like to kind of stick to common sense and facts when it comes to how I formulate my opinions. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that Girlfriend came out in, of course, July of 2021 with Season 1, 12 episodes, and Season 2 came out October of 2023 with another 12 episodes. And at the time when Season 2 came out was pretty much when the manga was coming to its conclusion. So Season 2 was a very good time for it to be a re-promotion of the source material to get people to kind of finish and read the story and get that conclusion that they so desired. It's a pretty well-timed thing. There are two factors that you got to look at, other than what I just mentioned there. Is one, Season 2 just didn't really do quite as well as Season 1, but that's obvious. With every anime, you always have some drop-offs, unless it's like a really long-running series that's got a really strong fan base. But that's kind of not as common as you think. It feels like it's common, but when you look at how many animes there are out there, it's not that common. And then you also have 100 Girlfriends. And 100 Girlfriends really did steal the spotlight from Girlfriend. A lot of people that were watching Girlfriend and were like, oh, I really love this. People were like, hey, if you like that, go watch 100 Girlfriends. That's better. That's kind of what they were saying. I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's what others have been saying. Though, if I went personal preference, I do like 100 Girlfriends quite a lot. So, yeah. And I do think if you like Girlfriend, you'd like 100 Girlfriends. I think they both have their own strengths and weaknesses when it comes to the kind of story that they're telling. But the hype behind Girlfriend did diminish quite a lot when Season 2 came out, and a lot of people just went, meh. Season 2 was fun, but the whole point of the story kind of got a little bit worn down, and so people moved on to other series. That's just how I see it. The reality is that Season 1 did quite well, it got a Season 2, and then a lot of people kind of moved on, so it just didn't quite have that interest there. And as far as Blu-rays and DVD sales go, I have to repeat this sometimes, doesn't matter. Whether it does good or bad does not matter in this situation. If it did good, sure, it might be a bonus, but it really comes down to merchandise, physical copies, which, yeah, can be used as a source material seller, and it was that case. But when you look at merchandise and overall how it did popularity-wise, streaming platforms and that just wasn't quite there. So you look at that, the chances of a Season 3 are very, very, very much lower. Now, that doesn't mean that you couldn't get some form of announcement, say, maybe in the next year or so, but I think the chances of that are very low. I think if we heard nothing within the next year, I think pretty much it would be very low. I would expect it being less than a 1% chance of a Season 3 ever being announced. So I do feel like if you are a big fan of the series, it's one of those where I'm like, I just have bad news that I do think it's very much not going to happen. Now, if you are an anime only and you really wanted to know more about the story, I would highly recommend going and read the manga. Start to finish, best option. Sure, I could tell you where the anime ends, but honestly, every time I do that, it's always the best option to just start from the beginning and read your way all the way through, because there's always differences, whether little or large, there always is. And it's just a better overall experience to start from the beginning and go all the way through. The story is pretty much complete. It is completed. I don't know why I say kind of. It is completed, so at least then you can start from the start, go all the way through, and get the conclusion you so desire. If anything does change, I will definitely announce it on the channel. I don't think it's a complete 0% chance, but I do think it is a very, very low chance, and I think it will become even increasingly lower in the coming year or so, because I think the window of it getting a Season 3 announcement is pretty much either now or within the next 6 to 12 months. If anything longer than that, then I think the chances just go down significantly, because I just don't think there's quite the steam behind the interest for it to push any further. If it had a little bit more pep behind it, sure. And I think the reason why Season 2 did happen was because, one, a lot of these animes do kind of get two core kind of productions, and they kind of split them a lot of the times into 2 seasons and then pace them, whether it's a 3-month break or a year or so break. but also the timing for when season 2 came out was perfect with the conclusion of the manga. So I think you put those two together, it was just perfect timing. And beyond that, there's just not as many incentives to do a season 3. So again, if anything does change, I will definitely announce it on the channel. Love to see a season 3 for those that want that kind of thing, but it's just one of those where I just have to be realistic and tell you, sadly, it's one of those where I think it's very much a low chance. So again, if you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you beautiful nerds in the next video.